Governor Baker recently announced an extension to the original 2-week emergency order requiring all non-essential businesses and organizations to shut their doors. The administration is now requiring businesses to stay closed until May 4th. The state has added to the list of essential businesses. Here's a look at how these changes are affecting the community.
No one was surprised. We knew that it's going to take at least that long to work our way through this crisis, and probably even longer. The unfortunate part is that, and this is exactly what we need to do. We actually need to continue our social distancing. It's the only way out of this crisis. It's the only way to make sure that we get past it. So what the governor did was absolutely right. But it's really very heartbreaking. Our businesses are really suffering, and how they come out at the end of it is really very much up in the air. These non-essential businesses, which is really almost everything except for a handful of categories, the grocery stores, the pharmacies, hardware stores, are closed now, and there's not much they can do. The governor's order does expand a little bit some of the businesses that can be open, so it allowing chiropractors and some medical practices that were excluded before to be open. It's allowing some people in sanitation businesses and cleaning businesses to be open. But really, when we think about the businesses that we love on Great Plain Avenue in downtown and in the Heights, how they get through this is going to be really, really challenging. And we hear about it all the time. We are hearing about folks really struggling to figure out how to make payroll, and that's resulted in a lot of staff cuts and losses, just as it has all over the state. Unemployment numbers are very high, but we've also hearing about how the challenge is paying rent. So we're recording this in the beginning of April, and that means that the first month that April's rent is due, and that's really maybe second to salary, usually a business's second biggest bill to pay. Paying that rent is really difficult. Negotiating with landlords is a path many people have taken, trying to work with their landlords. But the landlords are businesses too, and so the property owners and landlords have to make their own bills. They have to feed their own families. So working with landlords has been difficult. It's especially difficult in a town like Needham because a lot of our landlords are small business people, individuals, family trusts, and again, they're really dependent on it, the income for that. In a lot of cases, the owners are absentee too, meaning they're not in Needham. They might be in Florida or somewhere else. So our businesses are struggling making payroll. They're struggling paying rent, and they're now hoping that some of the programs that are starting to be unveiled will help them.
One of those programs, which could help businesses, is the Small Business Administration's Disaster Relief Loan. The new Federal Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, known as CARES, allocated $350 billion to help small businesses keep workers employed during the pandemic. This Paycheck Protection Program guarantees loans to small businesses, and these loans may be forgiven if borrowers maintain their payrolls during this time. More details, including the list of lenders, will be released soon. The Newton Needham Regional Chamber is also taking steps to ease the strain placed on businesses during this pandemic.
The federal stimulus package, known as the CARES Act, allows a couple different things. The feature that businesses are most interested in or following closely is one that will allow them to get a loan to meet payroll and meet some other costs. And if they follow certain procedures, the loan will turn into be forgiven, meaning they won't have to pay back that loan. But the details for that are still rolling out. The federal government's a big battleship, and it takes a long time to turn it around. And the government passed, the Congress passed this, and the Senate passed this, and the president signed it. But now they have to come up with the procedures on how to execute it, and that's taking a while too. So businesses are struggling, waiting for the right direction so they know how they can apply for these loans and find out whether these loans will help them. As our members wait to find out which programs might work for them and navigate their way through the bureaucracy, filing for applications, waiting on hold for a specialist at the Small Business Administration or wherever to help them, The Chamber's just been really trying to be a conduit for information sharing. So we have an email that we send out every morning at 7 a.m. that provides all our members with an update. Any business or really anybody who wants to sign up for this can go to our website, nnchamber.com, and sign up for our coronavirus updates, and they will see the kinds of information we're passing along to our business members, information about these programs and what's available. And then we're organizing a lot of webinars and opportunities for our local businesses to get further information.
While many businesses and organizations are required to keep their doors closed, it is still possible for residents to show their support. Here are a few ways you can help to make sure doors can reopen after the stay-at-home order is lifted.
The best way that our community can help the businesses and the nonprofits in this market, number one, is to observe all of the social distancing rules and everything else that the experts tell us to do, the hand washing and everything else, so that we can get out of this as quickly as is reasonable, even though we know that's going to be a while. But the next thing they can do is try to support their businesses that are open. So our restaurants are open for takeout in many cases. Treat yourself and your family to a takeout meal, and you'll be helping a restaurant a lot. A lot of our retail shops are closed, but you can still buy gift cards from them and show your support. A gift card from a local merchant, if you buy it now and don't use it until we're in the recovery phase, is really an interest-free loan for that business. So you're really helping them out with their cash flow and an opportunity to do that. And some businesses local businesses are still open for delivery or mail order, and you can check with them and buy something directly from a business that can be delivered to you by mail or UPS, in some cases delivered by the business itself, depending on the category and their resources. And then our nonprofits. Our nonprofits have always been on the front line of helping serve our community. So opening up your wallets, and if you can afford it, making a donation to any of the Needham nonprofits or nonprofits that are serving people right now is so important. The nonprofits, as well as the food bank through the community center, which is looking for cash contributions. Really, really, this is the time to help if you can. There's specific donations set up for the hospital workers at the BID, and there's a lot of other programs. So find one that resonates with you and make a contribution if you can. This is a challenging time for the Chamber as well. The Chamber is a nonprofit, and a lot of our revenue and our support comes from our dues from our members, but also from our events. And we've just been forced to cancel one of our biggest revenue makers of the year, spring seasonings, at least postpone it to a date uncertain. And that's a taste of event where we bring all the restaurants in the community together. It's one of our favorite nights of the year. It happens in April traditionally, and we won't be able to do that this year. So the Chamber is also struggling, making tough decisions about our own budget and how we get through this, and hoping that our members and the Chamber can all be here when we get through on the other side. But we're committed to working and serving our community, to providing information to our businesses and nonprofits and the resources they need. Phone calls or emails anytime are more than welcome from any business owner or nonprofit that want to talk about this. And you can find all the information on how to contact us on our website, nnchamber.com.